Today on CityCast Pittsburgh. Our city has such tasty Mexican food, if you know where to go. So for all of you on the hunt for the best tacos or tres leches cakes, we are bringing back a conversation with a Pittsburgh transplant who's taken us along to all of his favorite spots, especially when he's craving that special taste of home. It's Thursday, June 20th. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. I'm with Oscar Zapata, the freelance writer behind a delicious new list in the Pittsburgh Independent. Hey, Oscar.
Hello, Megan.
So, what do you think, hot take, can you get authentic Mexican food in Pittsburgh?
I strongly think that you can.
Yeah?
Yes.
What do you look for? Like, what makes it feel legit for you?
Mostly kind of like the base ingredients or kind of like the most common ingredients of Mexican foods are definitely corn and a sauce. So when I go like somewhere to like get Mexican food, like chips or tortillas, the quality of those are essential. So if you go like some bar and you like, get like this really kind of like random plastic bag like chips, that's a bad sign.
Okay.
that's a bad sign. And the other is the sauce. Like kind of like for chilaquiles or for enchiladas, you want kind of like a good texture, like slightly dense, colorful, well-smelled sauce. I think like those are kind of like as soon as when I go to like a Mexican restaurant or like a place that like has like Mexican items, that's what I like.
Well, and I feel like you're a fair judge of this because you grew up in Mexico City. What brought you to Pittsburgh?
Grad school.
Yeah.
Sure answer. Grad school. I'm a PhD student at Pitt, doing mostly research on Latin American film. Yeah.
When you first moved to Pittsburgh and you kind of craved the food from home, how did you go about trying to find it?
Mostly it was through recommendations from other Latin American students I met.
Isn't that always the way, like word of mouth?
Exactly. Yeah. There's like a bunch of people from Puerto Rico, from DR, Dominican Republic, from Peru. And each one of them had like, their opinion of like, like home food they find in Pittsburgh. And they will tell you, no, that's not good. This one is good. This is more authentic. This is real.
Well, so for, the food of Mexico, are there specific menu items that you always look for that are like, your baseline? Like, if this is good, then that's a good sign for what's to come.
I think like a staple of like Mexican food, something I was looking for. One of my favorite dishes would be chilaquiles, which is a really basic Mexican dish. It's just like fried corn tortillas, covered in sauce. Like could be like green or like red sauce. It's really like a really famous like dish for a weekend morning, for like a Saturday morning. Probably what were you looking for after like going out with your friends?
It's hangover food. Yeah.
It's hangover food. It's hangover. It's comforting food. It's comforting food. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. So don't leave us hanging. What are the best ones in Pittsburgh?
Well, the one I'm like wrote about it, not only because of the quality of their chilaquiles or their enchiladas, because like the atmosphere of the place, it's El Paisano. It's really amazing, sui generis restaurant in Beachview. 2 years ago, I was working for a summer in Casa San Jose, which is another like Latinx community center in Beachview area.
Yeah, I mean, they do an enormous amount of advocacy work around the community. Their impact cannot be overstated.
They're awesome. They're like great people. And I remember like just being there, and they were like, okay, lunchtime, where should we go? It's like, it's like, just trust us. Just
and they got you.
they got it. It's like, okay, like I didn't know like too much about like Beachview area, and they took me to El Paisano. And yeah, that time like changed my mind, changed my conception of Pittsburgh. El Paisano, it's a great place to start.
Those are strong words. Like changed your entire perception of a city based on one single restaurant.
I think so. I feel like it was like their restaurant and the area of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, this is where the communities. Because I think like talking about like food places and like how like food places are distributed in the city also talks about like where the Latino community is in the city.
And a large portion of our community lives in the South Hills.
Exactly. Exactly. And then like there's not too much communication between like South Hills and I don't know, I think like what we'll consider like more downtown or Oakland. So we're having like conversations with like other Latin American students at Pitt, and very few of them know like their community in Pittsburgh that it's not related to the university. So
Yeah.
part of like my work, it's trying to like put those communities in like in contact, or trying to like get to know more about like like local community in that sense.
Yeah. Well, and your article in the Pittsburgh Independent highlights these 5 specific businesses. Obviously, there are more in the city of Pittsburgh, but let's talk a little bit about some of their individual dishes. I'm going to give you a few categories, and you tell me what you love most from some of these spots. Are you ready?
Of course, let's start.
Are you pulling up your keyboard?
Yes.
I see you ready to cheat. Okay.
Yeah.
Best breakfast item.
Breakfast. Okay. Birria. So it's basically kind of like lamb or goat meat, marinated in kind of like a mixture of different like peppers, chiles, guajilla, pasillo, and the result is a really tender and like tasty meat that
Yeah.
usually it's like being like put in tacos, and those tacos are served right next to like the broth where the meat was cooked. And El Colibri, it's a really good place to try that. And something I found like amazing, even if you're like, I don't know, like vegetarian or vegan, they
Hmm.
have a vegan option for birria.
What about your best baked good? So not dessert, but like a breakfast baked good if you're just on the go.
The thing with pastries and like baked goods in Mexico, like kind of like the concept of like sweet bread,
Hmm.
pan dulce, it's more similar to, I guess, like French sort of like pastries compared to like 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 I don't know like bakery in the U.S. or the like Anglo-Saxon tradition. So pan dulce is basically just like sweet bread. It's like baked sweet bread, and there are so many I love. I think like my favorite one would be orejas, which basically means ears, and this kind of like crunchy baked pastry in kind of like a form of
Yes,
like
it's the swirly one, right?
yes. I love those. And Panaderia Jazmín, they have like a really wide variety of like different like Mexican sweet bread available. So yeah, I was really surprised when I found them.
Something for everyone, it looks like in there. You have a photo in your story of the counter, and it just looks so full of so many delicious things. What about the best taco? Where would you recommend?
The thing with like Mexican food is that I feel like the best or like what feel like more authentic or like more or warmer, it's wherever that like connects you or like triggers kind of like an emotion and a memory that connects you to like at least for me when I was growing up.
Yeah, something that feeds that nostalgia.
Exactly. That's what food is about. So when I moved to Pittsburgh, I moved to like Friendship. I was trying to like just get around, just like walk in the neighborhood, like what kind of like food items can like find here. And I just like randomly saw this taco truck on Penn Avenue. It's Tasty Taquitos. It's like the taco truck right next to the Spack Brothers.
Hmm.
And I really like this place. And they have like a really good variety of tacos, and you can ask for a traditional one that is like with the soft corn tortilla and cebolla, like onions and cilantro. So yeah, that was like a really good experience for me.
Yeah.
In El Paisano, they also have tacos, birria tacos, like I mentioned in my article, in El Colibrí. El Rincón Oaxaqueño, they are on Butler and 40th Street, I think. They have also great tacos. Oh, one I must like. I'm just going through like my notes, and one it's I should definitely recommend is El Pastorcito.
Yeah, I've heard amazing things about their food.
Yeah, they started with like a taco truck in different like spots in the city, and now they have like a location in New Kensington, I think.
Yeah.
My friend was looking at this like Netflix show about like street food in Mexico, and he wanted to try pastor, which is kind of like marinated like pork meat that is served like in tacos with like pineapple and onions. And we rode like 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours and a half to New Kensington in our bikes to try El Pastorcito pastor tacos. So
that is a heck of a commitment to make that bike ride.
it was, but it's totally worth it. It's
I
totally
love
worth
that.
it. I think like they're like the best like tacos al pastor are from there.
What about a veggie forward dish for our vegetarian and vegan friends?
Tasty taquitos. They have kind of like a nopal taco. There is mostly kind of like cactus taco that I like a vegetarian friend like give me like really good like feedback. The guys from El Colibri, they have like the vegan birria, which I think like it's amazing to have that like that option.
Okay, we'll wrap this up. What about your best dessert option?
Ooh, yes. Panaderia Jasmine, they have like baked goods, like they have conchas, they have arquillos, they have like orejas, ears, and also they have like baked goods. They have, I think the most popular ones they have is tres leches cake, which is basically like, I don't know, like a really like tasty and dense milky cake.
I mean, I feel like, you've listed like a lot of options. I think some people would be kind of surprised to hear that we've got that much to offer here in Pittsburgh.
There are many. We were thinking about like so in the on the piece we published at the Pittsburgh Independent. I was like talking with like Brian, the editor, and we end up with a really big list. We're definitely thinking about like a second part. I wasn't not really into rankings, like what's the best or what's the. I'm trying to share my experience, and I pick up like five of the places that I feel like like more connected when I got here, where I found like like a community where I feel like a welcoming environment, when I felt like the quality of the food was not only good, but it was like like just prepared with certain care. So there are many.
Well, I'm glad that we did this just before lunch. I feel like that was perfect timing on both our parts. Oscar, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and experience with us.
Thank you so much for having me here, and I want to like take the opportunity to like just like reach out some other members of the Latin American Latino community in the Pittsburgh area to like just reach out. And
Yeah, how can folks find you?
my Instagram account at Oscar Saga, Z as in zebra, AGA.
If you want to break bread, break tortillas with Oscar, he's ready for you. That's all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. If you need all of Oscar's recommendations, we will have a link to those in our show notes. If you liked what you heard, please tell someone, recommend us, leave us a nice rating. We really appreciate it. And make sure you're subscribed to our Hey Pittsburgh newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Talk to you soon. I'll take that taco over a Primanti sandwich all day.
Oh, for sure. I just tried it once, and I don't think like who thought about like fries inside a sandwich would be a good idea. But, but I mean, it's fine. I respect it.